hope that you all have been doing well. I also hope that maybe you're practicing your loving kindness beyond just our Monday and Friday. Hopefully you're practicing loving kindness on a more regular and daily basis to truly cultivate that opening of the heart and the mind. You know, when many people think about mindfulness and mindfulness meditation practice, they often think it's just about the cultivation of their awareness, just sort of like up in their head, like something that we're doing to train our mind. But something that I really love, that I love dearly about many Asian cultures, is that they don't have two different words for mind and heart. It's actually one word that means both. So it's one word meaning both heart and mind. So what I love is that, as we're growing and as we're developing in our spiritual walk, we're supposed to be moving from the head and into the heart and really bringing the heart and mind together as one. So when many Asian cultures hear the word mindfulness, they're also subconsciously underneath that, or even consciously, because as I said, it's the same word. When they hear mindfulness, they're also hearing heartfulness. So these practices are meant to both develop both the awareness and the heart itself. Therefore, it's through the practices that we are working on that, develop not just our awareness, not just the mind alone. If we're just trying to develop mental strength, concentration, and just develop the mind and our awareness alone, our work is actually incomplete, which is another reason why I love the Metta or the loving kindness practice so much, because in the loving kindness meditation method, the practice is simultaneously developing both aspects together. By focusing on the person, by ourselves and the other people as we move through the flow of the Metta or loving kindness practice, by focusing on them and then returning back to them whenever the mind does begin to wander, is developing focus, it's developing awareness, it's developing our mental strength. So that's where we develop the mindfulness part. But on the flip side of that coin, as we're sending out these well wishes, these phrases of loving kindness with a very kind and generous spirit, we are expanding and opening our hearts. So we're cultivating heartfulness. And so that is, through the Metta or loving kindness practice, the perfect and the most optimal thing to do. Because as I said, mindfulness practices are not just supposed to be developing awareness alone. They're also supposed to be developing our heart and awakening us to compassion. And so this practice is simultaneously doing that together. And so that's why it's a wonderful way to practice meditation. In fact, that's also why I believe it's stated in the Metta or loving kindness teaching that this practice can take you all the way to full enlightenment, to full awakening, because you're developing both heart and mind. So let's get into our practice. So again, I thank you all for being here, and I invite you now to get into any relaxed or comfortable position. You're more than welcome to sit up, and if you do, just sit in what is referred to as a dignified posture, but you're also more than welcome to lay down if you like. And let's just bring our awareness and attention to ourself. Maybe notice any tension or tightness we might be holding within our body. And if you notice any, you can do what you need to do to release that. And now let's just begin by taking a couple of deep, long breaths together. So I invite you to take a long, deep breath in. And then slowly exhale or sigh your breath out. And take another long, deep breath in. Slowly exhale or sigh your breath out. And one more long, deep breath in. Slowly exhale or sigh your breath out. And now I invite you to just allow your breath to settle to whatever its natural or regular rhythm is in this moment. No longer control or regulate your breath in any way, but just try to observe it. Try to be the witness of the body breathe. And just whenever you notice that the mind has wandered, just gently and lovingly, without judgment, without criticism, just return back again to the breath. By returning to the breath, we're centering ourselves in this present moment. And we're coming into contact with the true reality of life. Because the only moment that truly exists is the now, is this moment. The past is gone, it's now memory, and the future hasn't happened yet. And so now that we're a little bit more centered, I invite you to just begin to expand your awareness out a little bit more, to include your entire being. Bring your entire self into your awareness. For we begin this loving kindness practice by sending this energy inwards towards ourselves first. And so while keeping all your awareness and attention upon yourself, please just silently repeat, or again, if you're alone, you can softly, gently whisper and recite these statements after me. I am loved. I am happy. I am healthy. I am peaceful. I am loved. I am happy. I am healthy. I am peaceful. I am loved. I am happy. I am healthy. I am peaceful. And now just take a few moments to sincerely and wholeheartedly continue to offer yourself your own loving kindness, but just continuing to silently repeat and offer yourself those well wishes. Sometimes people feel a little unworthy of this attention, of this self-love. Sadly, many of us feel it difficult to offer ourselves some love and attention. So if you find it difficult, a reminder by Thich Nhat Hanh, a great Zen master, is that when we're doing this practice, or when we're doing any meditation practice, we should maybe sit with a smile on our face. And that smile does help us to feel a little bit more uplifted, a little bit more kind, a little bit more loving. And it might help us to generate a little bit of a stronger feeling of love towards ourselves and others as we go through the practice. We also start with ourselves because we can't truly give away what we don't have. So how can we fully love and give love to another if we don't have love for ourselves first? So we just start with ourselves, thinking, I am loved, I am happy, I am healthy, I am peaceful. Now we're going to begin to direct our loving kindness outwards through a series of people. And the first person I'm going to ask you or invite you to try to call to mind is someone you love a lot. So please try to picture, imagine, sense, feel, or visualize in any way you can someone you love dearly. It can be a family member or even a very dear, close friend. The person can be living or they can be deceased. That doesn't matter to the practice. Just I invite you to think of someone you love. And now we're going to direct some loving kindness and direct our attention towards them. And so while you're holding them in your mind's eye or seeing them before you, there's two ways you can do this. You can either just think of them and say, may you be loved. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be peaceful. Or your other option is you can insert his or her name into the statements and say, may he or she be loved. May he or she be happy. May he or she be healthy. May he or she be peaceful. Just do whatever one feels right to you, and now take a couple of moments to offer your loving kindness to this person that you love a lot. Whenever you notice the mind wanders, and maybe if you have a very busy mind this morning, don't judge yourself, don't get hard on yourself, don't start thinking, oh, my mind is so chaotic, or I'm a bad meditator. Just gently and lovingly, whenever you notice that the mind has wandered, just return back to the person you're trying to focus upon, in this case, the person you love dearly, and then just start again. Don't worry about where you wandered off in the phrases, just start from the first phrase. May you be loved. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be peaceful. And also, as we're doing this, we're supposed to also just sort of not force ourselves to generate a feeling, but the practice isn't just supposed to be lip service. So we're not just like reciting these statements very quick or fast or just throwing them out there. We're also trying to put a little bit of feeling behind what we are saying without forcing the feeling or struggling to have the feeling. Just sort of rest in the phrases. So when you say, may you be loved, really take a moment to think about what you're offering and extending to this person. And just rest in that phrase, and the feeling of love, the feeling of happiness, of healing and peace will eventually begin to bubble up on their own, and you'll feel them become, strengthened as you progress. And now I invite you to try to picture, imagine, sense, feel, visualize in any way you can somebody you know who might be having a hard or a difficult time right now. someone who's going through some sort of difficulty. And by a difficult time, this can be mentally or emotionally, and there might be many people in our lives that we know right now who might be struggling mentally or emotionally with the loss of a job, lack of finances, or many other things that the present state of our world is bringing into people's lives. But it can also be someone who's suffering with a sickness, illness, or disease. And so maybe they need a little bit of extra attention and healing from that difficulty. And so we can focus on anyone who falls into this specific category. Just try to picture, imagine, sense, feel, visualize them in any way before you. Try to see them in your mind's eye. And now we're going to direct our loving kindness to them in the exact same way we did with the person we've loved. So you can just think of this person and begin saying, may you be loved. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be peaceful. Or your other option, again, is to insert their name into the statement and say, may he or she be loved. May he or she be happy. May he or she be healthy. May he or she be peaceful. And now just take a couple of moments to continue to offer your loving kindness now to this person. And the way we're offering this loving kindness is with a generous spirit, a generous heart. So we're not demanding or forcing these statements onto anyone. We're not demanding they be happy. We're extending it with a spirit of generosity and the same spirit with which we would say to somebody, may you have a happy birthday. No, we're wishing this thing for them. We're sending them the well wishes that they enjoy their birthday, and we're doing the same thing with these phrases of loving kindness. We extend it with the same intention. So the same way we say, may you have a happy birthday, is the same way we would say, may you be loved. And so just hold this person in your mind's eye. Whenever the mind wanders, refocus on them again. And just begin from the first phrase. May you be loved. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be peaceful. And now we're going to be moving into the second part of the loving kindness flow, which for many can become a little bit more of a struggle or a difficult part of the practice. And the first person I'm going to ask you to try to picture, imagine, sense, feel, visualize in any way you can is a neutral person. Now by neutral, we mean someone that you really have no feelings for. So you don't love them, you don't dislike them or hate them in any way either, though. There's no story attached to them. We really know nothing about them. And sometimes it's hard to think of a neutral person, but some examples I can share with you is maybe there's a neighbor on your block or in your development or community or apartment complex that you've seen their face, but you really haven't spoken to them, or you know nothing about them. Or maybe you just wave to them on the way to work or as you go about your day. Or maybe there's someone that you cross paths with frequently, so maybe you walk your pet in the morning or at a certain time, and there's somebody else who seems to have a similar schedule, and you've passed them multiple times, you've seen their face, but you really don't know much about them. Just try to picture, imagine, sense, feel, visualize in any way you can a neutral person. And now we're going to begin to offer our loving kindness to them. Now you probably don't know their name, or you might not know their name, so it's best just to use the may you be statements. And you just hold this person in your mind's eye, see them before you, and say, may you be loved. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be peaceful. And now just take a couple of moments to see how this feels for you. And offer them the loving kindness. With the neutral person, a couple of things could be happening. One is that you still find it very easy to generate a feeling of loving kindness towards this person because there's no story attached, so the loving kindness phrases flow freely without any sort of hindrance or obstacles. And that's great. But on the flip side of that, there can be some people who experience the opposite. That because there's no attachment or no story, or we don't know much about them, sometimes it's hard to stay focused on the person. Our mind may wander a little bit more. Don't beat yourself up for that. That's perfectly natural. Just refocus upon the neutral person and start again. It's not failure to start again. But another thing that we can sometimes feel is maybe the lack of intensity of the loving kindness isn't so strong. It's not as, the feeling really is a little bit more difficult to cultivate with a neutral person. If you're finding that too, that's natural, that's okay. Your heart will open in time the more we do these practices. So just continue on. If you find the intensity isn't there, as a little reminder, you can put the smile on your face. And it might help to generate the feeling of love that we're sending out towards this person. And now we're going to move on to the next part of the practice, which for many people becomes the most difficult part. And that's because I'm going to ask you and invite you now to try to picture, imagine, sense, feel, visualize in any way you can someone from the present or your past with whom you've had difficulty. Someone who might have hurt you, used you, or wronged you in some type of way. Now, if you're new to this practice or just still a beginner, it's often recommended not to start with the most difficult or hated person in your life or the world. Try to choose someone who's more of a mild irritation, maybe just a slight annoyance to you, or someone with whom you just had a little bit of conflict. It's best to start with someone more manageable because that way we can observe our reactions without really being overwhelmed by them. So I invite you now to try to picture, imagine, sense, feel, visualize in any way you can someone from the present or your past with whom you've had conflict. And now you're going to try to offer them your loving kindness in the exact same way we've done with these past people. You can either think of the person and just simply say, may you be loved, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be peaceful. Or if you wish to personalize it, you can insert the person's name into the statements and say, may he or she be loved, may he or she be happy, may he or she be healthy, may he or she be peaceful. And now take a moment or two to see how this part of the practice is for you. By bringing this difficult person into our meditation, some things may be going on. One, as you're saying these phrases, there may be a little voice in the back of your head which is saying, I don't really wish this for this person. This person has hurt me or used me in some type of way. You might also find that maybe you're angry or upset by thinking of this person and trying to offer them these well wishes. That's okay. That's natural too. But it's important to recognize that change is possible. It's important to recognize that when someone is acting badly or unkindly towards us, that they are coming from a place of pain and hurt themselves. And as you become more comfortable in the practice, you are likely to find that you can begin to do this with some ease. There's a relaxing of the heart. Your heart begins to slowly open in time. And while this can be a challenging part of the practice, it can also be a very liberating and profound part. Because this is where conditional love and places where we're holding back our love turns to unconditional love. This is where we're learning to sort of love thy enemy, as was asked by Jesus. And so even if it seems mechanical right now, just continue on with the practice. If your mind is wandering a lot, just don't worry about it. Just refocus and start again. Think of the person and say, may you be loved. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be peaceful. And if you need to, put a smile on your face, which can help to intensify the feeling. And now last, but definitely not least, we're going to offer our loving kindness now to all beings, to all life, everywhere in this universe. So once again, just silently repeat, or if you're alone, softly whisper these statements after me. May all beings be loved. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. And may all beings be peaceful. May all beings be loved. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be peaceful. And now please take the final moments of this meditation to sincerely and wholeheartedly offer your loving kindness now to all beings, to all life, everywhere in this universe, by extending and offering them those well wishes. And by all beings, we just don't mean all humans. We mean plants, animals, all life forms, anything with the breath of life or anything with life within it. Some little tips and tricks that I share in this part is, if you're finding it difficult to send out loving kindness towards all beings everywhere, some little things you could think about doing is you can imagine yourself seated where you are, and then try to imagine your family and friends sitting around you in a circle, and then an infinite sea of beings, animals, and all life forms moving out away from the circle of family and friends in all directions. And then you can send out these waves of energy towards them, and send out these phrases of loving kindness in all directions towards all those beings. Or something else you can do is you can think of yourself as a radio transmitter, sending out waves of colored energy. So when you say, may all beings be loved, send out whatever color symbolizes love. Maybe, I think of a red heart when I think of love. So you can send out a red wave of energy moving away from you in all directions throughout the entire universe. And then when you say, may all beings be happy, send out a colored happiness wave in all directions. Then when you say, may all beings be healthy, whatever color symbolizes healing, send out a wave of that color in all directions. And when you say, may all beings be peaceful, send out a peaceful wave of energy in all directions throughout the universe. Now, I only offer that as a tool. For some of you, it may be helpful and you might enjoy it. For others, it might be more of a distraction. So if it's more of a distraction, don't use it. Just put it aside and just sit there and just continue on with the phrases. May all beings be loved. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. And may all beings be peaceful. Our meditation has come to its end. You may need to bring some gentle movement back to your body. You might want to wiggle your toes or wiggle your fingers, maybe stretch your arms or legs. If you're laying down, you could gently rock your body. While some of you might prefer to take a couple of deep breaths just to bring your awareness back to the body and ground it again in the room or space you're in. And whenever you feel ready, slowly begin to open your eyes, make your way back into the space. But again, I truly appreciate you all being here. I thank you so much. And as I stated in the beginning that, in many Asian cultures, there's no difference between heart and mind. And we're supposed to be developing both of them together and bringing them together as one. And so when they're practicing mindfulness, they're also hearing heartfulness. And that's why this Metta or loving kindness practice is so powerful, because it helps us to cultivate both. Cultivating the awareness and the mindfulness through the returning back to the people we're focusing upon, and cultivating the heartfulness through the sending out of these well wishes. So I thank you all for, helping us, each other, to transform our heart and minds, and for doing the work to transform your own heart and minds. I hope you have a beautiful, blessed weekend. I look forward to seeing you Monday at 9, and may each and every one of your days truly be filled with an abundance of love, happiness, and peace. Have a blessed day.